Hey everyone, hope you're all well. Today I want to talk about Halo Infinite's most recent multiplayer flight and give you my overall thoughts on pretty much everything in the game. I played and streamed Halo Infinite during both weekends of the tech preview, where I got the chance to play more of Halo Infinite's PvP and try Infinite's big team battle for the very first time. I had such a blast playing Halo Infinite during the tech preview. If I'm honest, it was so good. I haven't had an experience like it with Halo since Halo 3 and Reach. That should tell you how incredibly fun Infinite is, and it's only going to get better before launch. There were still issues and buggy glitches with this flight that will no doubt get patched before launch, but when you compare the state of Halo Infinite to something like Call of Duty Vanguard and even Battlefield 2042, it's just a night and day difference. And what's crazy is that I've got mates who are huge COD and Battlefield fans, and even they were getting jealous of how good Halo Infinite looked and played. It's clear to me that FIFA 3 have something really special with Halo Infinite and its multiplayer, and if the campaign can be on the same level, we'll be in for a hell of a time. Halo Infinite's big team battle was just so much fun to play. It was so chaotic and downright ridiculous at times that I couldn't stop playing it. It truly feels like Halo big team battle is back. It's been absent in the Halo franchise for quite some time and was a shadow of its former self in Halo 5, as it didn't launch with the game and had no dev-made maps during its entire lifespan. With that said, FIFA 3 wanted to come out with a bang with Halo Infinite's BTB during this flight, and they did so with the map Fragmentation. This map really is gorgeous, and it's heavily inspired by Valhalla from Halo 3. The Forerunner structures, environment, and even the fauna were just marvellous to look at. The art style of Halo Infinite really is on point, and I'll get into this even further with Behemoth, which, as it stands right now, is my favourite Halo Infinite map. The loot caves featured in Fragmentation were pretty cool, with each one containing a random power weapon and one power up. Can I just say that I love how our own AI have to hack into these caves to retrieve the items, and it's pretty cool that you have to basically defend your AI and not leave the area. It kinda reminded me of Chief defending Cortana while she was hacking Covenant doors during the mission Gravemind in Halo 2. Some of you may not have had that vibe, but that's what it felt like for me. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the loot caves and their introduction, and I think they function pretty well during BTB. I'd say maybe make the doors open a little quicker because they really do take forever to open, although that may just be a design choice to make the players panic in case there's any enemy Spartans nearby. Now, talking about the vehicles featured in Big Team Battle, we had the Banished Banshee, Wasp, Scorpion, Warthog, Mongoose, and Banished Ghost. I had the pleasure of testing all of these vehicles, and I'll talk about each one specifically, but my one big gripe with Infinite's BTB at the moment is that the top tier vehicles like the Banshee, Wasp, and Scorpion were very hard to acquire. I played during 4 of the 6 BTB sessions during the flight while streaming, and only saw the Scorpion 5 times. The Banshee and Wasp were a little more frequent, but I still could go many matches before even seeing just one of them on the map. Fragmentation works really well with these vehicles, and I love the way the Pelican drops them off for us to contest over. However, majority of the time, the matches were just wrapping up before the Banshee, Wasp, or Scorpion entered the battlefield. I think all these vehicles should be at each base at the start of the match, and then as the match progresses, Pelicans drop them in. It would make the matches that much more chaotic, and that's the only thing missing from BTB right now. As a massive Ghost fan, I've got to say I was very happy seeing the Pelicans dropping off Ghosts more often than the other vehicles, but I assume at launch the Pelican would drop off the other vehicles like the Banished Chopper and Rocket Warthog to change it up. Slayer, Capture the Flag, and Total Control were the 3 modes we could test during the flight while playing BTB on Fragmentation. I expected to dislike Total Control, or at least not like it as much as Slayer and Capture the Flag, but honestly I came away from the flight loving Total Control the most, much to my surprise. It played the best on Fragmentation and gave the map a real sense of direction with rotating points of interest, and I noticed the heavier vehicles spawn more often during this mode compared to Slayer and CTF. I still very much enjoyed Slayer and CTF, don't get me wrong, but there was something really exciting about Total Control. It really is a fantastic mode, and I've got nothing negative to say about it at all. I noticed while playing CTF that a lot of the games finished at a tie, or with one team only capturing one flag. I think this is due to the varied flag points, where the second flag is almost impossible to reach and retrieve, simply because it's underneath the enemy base in a tight corridor. I like the idea overall of the rotating flag locations, but I think it should be tweaked a bit, otherwise just keep the flag on top of the Forerunner structure next to the gravel lift at each team's base. Slayer was great, but I feel like the matches were too short, and I never noticed the heavy vehicles spawn in. I think if the score limit was changed to 150 instead of 100, the games would flow much better, and also allow for more of the heavy vehicles like the Scorpion, Wasp, and Banshee to spawn in and have time in the game. Other than that, the modes played pretty well on fragmentation, and in my opinion, it's one of the best BTB maps in the series, and I'm sure I'm not alone in thinking that. Now, Jeff Starter is the voice of Halo, and I don't know about you, but I hate not being able to hear his buttery smooth voice in Halo Infinite's BTB. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Spartan Agrina, but she should not replace Jeff Starter. I wouldn't mind Spartan Agrina still calling out the Pelicans, bringing in the vehicles, and other things going on in the game, but I need to hear Jeff say double kill, triple kill. So that was a terrible impression, but I'm sure you guys get the gist. He's present in regular PvP, so I'm sure 343 will hear our concerns with his current absence and bring him back in. Alrighty, now let me give you my first impressions of the vehicles. The Warthog is always really fun to use in Halo, and Halo Infinite's Warthog didn't disappoint. It was good to drive and felt powerful for the most part. Sometimes it would get destroyed really easily, but that might have been my poor driving. I enjoyed being on the turret whenever I could, and I love how there's no cooldown for the turret, similar to Halos 1, 2, and 3. I do think the sound could be a little beefier for both the engine and turret though, and honestly the classic sound from Halo 3's Warthog would be perfect here. The Mongoose I don't have much to say on, besides it's very quick and somewhat awkward with its steering, but it's very solid in big team battles, CTF, to run the flag back to base quickly. As most of you would know, the Ghost is my favourite vehicle in all of Halo, and I'm very happy to tell you that I already think highly of the banished Ghost. It's agile, powerful, and it sounds good. I love the sound it makes when it just hovers. It sounds very similar to Halo CE's Ghost, and when the boost is activated, it just soars. It's quite strong in BTB and spawns very often. Safe to say it kicks ass in both 4v4 and BTB. Really quickly, if you're enjoying the video, please consider subscribing. We are so close to 10,000 subs, and I'm trying to get there before Halo Infinite's launch. So if you could subscribe, that would be just awesome. And for everyone else subbed, just know I love ya, for real. Now onto the Banished Banshee. This one was interesting. I love the way it flies, and it, like the Banished Ghost, sounds awesome. Although I don't know if it's just me, but in its current form, it is extremely weak and deals little damage, which is very odd for a vehicle that spawns so late in the game. I'm actually not sure what went wrong with it. The Banshee Bomb felt useless whenever I used it, which should not be the case for the Banshee Bomb. Again, I assume there was a bug causing the Banshee Bomb to do little damage, but it definitely was an underwhelming experience, especially when Banshees are sought after and usually very powerful if in the hands of a good pilot, which I like to think I am. I like how nimble it is, and it's easy to dodge enemy rockets, and I love the red and orange contrail it leaves behind as it flies. I'll be very happy with Infinite's Banshee once the Banshee Bomb is fixed, and it has a little bit more armor, so let's hope that's fixed for launch. The Wasp I had an absolute blast using. It's a lot stronger than its Halo 5 counterpart, and overall feels really good to use. The missiles paired with the machine gun work really well, and I've got nothing bad to say about this vehicle. I wish I could have used it more, same as the Banshee, to give you guys more feedback, but I think the Wasp is solid, and it's very easy to rack up a lot of kills while using it. Halo Infinite Scorpion is a beast of a vehicle, and it's got the classic Halo 2 design, which I love so much. It sounds great as it fires, and it moves quite quickly, much to my surprise. I think it moves at the same speed as Halo CE's Scorpion, which I find quite interesting, but it takes a while turning, which is a fair trade-off. Just one Scorpion is enough to turn the tide in the match, and if your team can grab both Scorpions as they drop in, it's lights out for the enemy team. I hope 343 can make some changes to the spawning of the Scorpion, Wasp, and Banshee, because they are a lot of fun to use, just weren't around long enough for everyone to try. I can't wait for some big team battle heavies where all the vehicles are out at any given time, and it's just total chaos. That's BTB at its peak, and I'm very excited for it because Halo Infinite's BTB is fantastic, and we've only had a small taste of it. Behemoth was introduced to us during the first weekend of the flight, and I've got to just say, this map blew me away. It is unbelievably beautiful, and it plays really well. Behemoth is my favourite Halo Infinite map, hands down. It is so damn good, it might be my favourite Halo map since Halo 3. The Forerunner aesthetic and art style, paired with a mix of on-foot and vehicular combat, is what makes Behemoth the perfect Halo map. This video perfectly captures the beauty of Behemoth. Now, during the tech preview, we were able to test out the Assault Rifle, Battle Rifle, Sidekick, Bulldog, Needler, Commando, Sniper, Plasma Pistol, Pulse Carbine, Ravager, Heat Rave, Skewer, Gravity Hammer, Rocket Launcher, and Shock Rifle. However, using the custom games glitch. I was also able to test the Disruptor, Cinder Shot, Sentinel Beam, Energy Sword, Mangler, and Hydra Launcher. So let's talk about Halo Infinite's new weapons. The Shock Rifle was one of the brand new banished weapons joining the game. Damn, does it look good. It's an electric sniper, and it can also EMP vehicles. I'm gonna say I'm a fan of it. I like the way it fires an electric beam onto the enemy, and I can imagine using it in the campaign. I don't know why, but it's really exciting to think about using the Shock Rifle on the Flood, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that. The Shock Rifle requires you to land all of the burst to get a perfect kill, which is also a one-shot kill if it's a headshot. So if you're skilled, you can get easy headshots with it. Otherwise, it takes 2 to 3 bursts of electricity on the body to kill the enemy. It's a cool weapon and just a bit worse than the regular sniper and skewer. Still definitely worth picking up in my opinion. The Disruptor is a banished electric pistol that shares the same weapon damage time as the Shock Rifle, so it too can EMP vehicles after a few shots. I like the simple design of this weapon, and I like how you can hold down the trigger as well as tap fire. It also drains shields even after firing due to the nature of the electricity, which has a small area of effect, where you can be out of ammo and still kill your target, as long as you fire enough rounds into them to make them have low or no shields. I've seen a lot of people not interested in this weapon, but I've got to say I really enjoyed using it. However, I'm curious to see how it functions against real players. The Cinder Shot was just so much fun to use, and so deadly. It reminds me of the Reach grenade launcher, as well as the Ad Victorium from Halo 5. It has an awesome design, and looks beautiful when it fires. I love the whole aesthetic of this weapon, and just the new Forerunner weapons in general. I can really see them being used against the Flood, and that brings me onto the Sentinel Beam. My god, does this weapon look, sound, and fire in an orgasmic fashion. This is, without a doubt, my favourite Sentinel Beam design. It looks fantastic, sounds so menacing and strong, and shoots a gorgeous purple beam that devastates everything in its path. The Sentinel Beam, as well as the rest of the Forerunner weapons, now have the ability to reload instead of overheating like you usually see with the Sentinel Beam. I welcome this change, and the reload animations for the Forerunner weapons look awesome. Just take a look at the Sentinel Beam's reload.
Double kill.
So that's just one of the many cool features of the Sentinel Beam, but I really can't wait to use it again and hopefully tear up some Flood in the campaign. Halo Infinite's Energy Sword is also quite interesting, but it's actually unfinished, so I don't want to go into it too much. However, I was able to discover its ignition sound as well as swinging sounds, and I've got to say they aren't great. I'll show some of the sounds to you now, but remember these sounds are not final, and I'm almost 100% certain the Energy Sword will sound different by launch.
Boosted.
Killing spree.
Hostile. Eviscerated.
The Mangler has had an insane upgrade since the last time we saw it back in July last year, and damn, it looks good. It's also had an overhaul to its sound, and I've got to say it sounds way better than before. The Mangler, if I had to describe it, is basically a slower Halo CE pistol. 3 shots get you the kill. It's pretty beastly, and I think it's going to kick ass in the campaign. The Hydra Launcher has changed quite dramatically since we last saw it in Halo 5. It now has 2 firing modes, a direct firing mode and a tracking mode. The direct firing mode takes 3 shots to kill, whereas the tracking mode takes 4. The Hydra Launcher back in Halo 5 would only need 2 shots to kill a target, so it has been weakened slightly, but I really like how there's an alt firing mode for it. Overall, I love the design, and it sounds awesome in game. Halo Infinite's competitive settings were just released yesterday, and everything is shaping up very nicely. We've got BR starts, friendly fire, no radar, and consistent weapon and equipment spawns on maps. The gameplay that was showcased to us yesterday on Recharge by 343 was fantastic, and we also got an exclusive look at a more polished Energy Sword, and I'm really curious to know your thoughts on its finished design. Halo Infinite's multiplayer is just incredible, and so much fun I actually can't stop thinking about it. Halo Infinite feels like a true Halo game, and I couldn't be more impressed with how it plays. I may be a little crazy in saying this, but to me, Halo is back with Infinite. There are still things to fix and improve before launch. Maybe some of the things I mentioned won't even get fixed until after launch. But hell, even if Halo Infinite released tomorrow in its current flight state, it would still be the best damn Halo experience anyone would have had with Halo since Halo 3 and Reach. We are inching closer to Halo Infinite's launch with each passing day. The only thing left to see now is Halo Infinite's campaign, and I'm sure we'll see it on the 15th of November. If 343 can deliver an equally fantastic experience with both the campaign and multiplayer, I'm sure Halo Infinite will be a game to remember. Alrighty guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. So sorry for the delay in getting this out to you. I've been bedridden for the last week with a virus, which has not helped at all. But thankfully I'm feeling much better. Just wanted to let you all know, as this was supposed to be out a full week ago. Anyway fam, thanks so much for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to support me that little bit extra. Thanks guys, have a good one.